All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, I am going to talk about Terence Crawford getting detained by Omaha police officers, state troopers. Don't know exactly who it is. I do believe it was the police. I do believe it was the police, and being held at the GU Point. Tim Bradely had something to say about that, and I have to tell you, I don't agree with Tim Bradely on a lot of stuff, but on this one, he hits it home. We don't care about that parade, bud. You not running nothing in Omaha if that can happen to you. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, man, we're gonna have a conversation about a reality check for Terence Crawford and Tim Bradely making a comment on it that makes a lot of sense and a lot of people really should listen to. Now, before I get into the details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you guys so much for what you do. It really does make a big difference, man. All right, so let me get, especially y'all supporting and super thanks. Thank you. But let's get into this because there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of woe is me stuff about Terence Crawford getting pulled over by the police. What a tragedy. How crazy is this? He doesn't deserve it. The cops were jealous. All of those things, right? I am not here to argue about any of those things. The cops very well could have been jealous. They could have not liked him because of the color of his skin. They could have followed him from home and said, look, man, we just going to harass you just to let you know that we can harass you. All of those things can be true. No worries from me. Trust me. I don't put anything past people, especially in that area of the country, which, by the way, I am from. So when I heard Tim Bradely say, look, man, you don't run your city if you don't run the police. I had to laugh at that, man. I had to laugh because what he's saying is so true. Do not confuse money with power. They are not the same thing. Do not confuse fame with power. They are not the same thing. There are people that can drive around Omaha, Nebraska, who you do not know, you won't know the name, will get pulled over in a car and the police officers would not dare to pull anything out on them because of who they are. And who are they? They are the powerful and connected people in the city. So I've always found it funny when young black people would tell me, or I hear them conversating with other people talking about when you go to this city or when you go to that city, you got to check in with this guy or checking in with that guy. And I always respond, why in the world would I check in with y'all? Y'all don't run nothing. So Tim Bradely is 100% right. If you do not run the police, you do not run a city. You can't, because they are like the military riding around the city. And trust you me, they know in that city, they know who people are. They know who the cars belong to, and they know who they can mess with and they know who they can't mess with, which is why a lot of times they sit on certain sides of the city and they over police in certain sides of the city because they know if they can't over police in other sides of the city. So I just find what Tim Bradely says is interesting. He, however, does not give anybody a blueprint to how exactly it is that you can be good with the police. Well, the first thing that you're going to have to do is that you're going to actually have to give money to the police. I know that's like a very hard thing to believe, but you actually have to be involved with them. Let them know who you are. Be connected with the city councilmen. Be connected with the state congressmen, the state senators, the U.S. congressman in your district, the U.S. senator for your state. All of those type of people can add to a level of Social Security, and I don't mean the type coming out of your pocketbook, Social Security that people get to walk around with and not have any problems. And guess what? That can happen for people that are Black. Absolutely, positively, it can happen. I have a friend that was in Memphis, Tennessee. Trust me, he can drive at whatever speed he wants to drive at, whatever time of day he wants to drive at, and he will go right by police officers, and the police officers will never, ever stop him for that. Do you know why? That is because he is the right-hand man of the mayor, a former mayor, the current mayor, a former mayor, and they know that he had a lot to say about who gets to be selected as the chief of police. So when you're playing around and you think that your money is what's going to get it done, you think because you're on a camera and everybody knows you that means that you have power. No, it means that you have fame. It means that you have money, but you do not necessarily have power. That is something that you have to grow, something that you have to feed, something that you have to set out with an understanding to get it. And you have to understand that it is not the same thing as money. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean that you're extremely powerful. You think that, but just because the flip side of it is true too. Just because somebody doesn't have a lot of money doesn't mean they don't have a lot of power. One of my favorite movies is The Godfather, and the second Godfather. I love that particular movie. It was about a guy named, one of the characters who was Arnold Rothstein in this, Hyman Roth, right? Played the mythical Hyman Rothstein, who was a mobster in the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, right? But when they went by his house in Miami, what did it look like? It looked like a house was in any other neighborhood. It was just a house that he probably bought in the 1920s. His wife stayed in all the way up into the 1960s. So no matter how influential he walked around the street and you never knew who he was. So I just think this is a very, very learning moment for anybody and everybody that thinks that, again, I'm going to repeat it, that just because you're famous, that means you're powerful. And just because, and you have to be careful because you never know who you can offend. If you offend people that are powerful with your riches and your fame, hey man, you might just wind up on your birthday in the most important day of your life, getting snatched out your car after you threw a parade for yourself downtown Omaha, Nebraska. And they might just remind you, you don't run nothing, man. You don't run nothing. And don't think that when this is over, you're going right back to being the same dude from North Omaha, and it's going to be what it is. So, hey, man, true message delivered by Timothy Bradely. I've said this many times myself, and I will continue to make it. Dude, if you can't walk around securely and people can snatch you up off the street willy-nilly, bro, doesn't matter how much money and fame you have. You just like everybody else at the end of the day. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.